Today we'll discuss about the biography of Miss Neichiilieii Nikki Haralu. She was the first Naga ambassador. On the right hand side you can see her picture. This is the basic detail about her. On the right hand side, this was taken when she was the ambassador to Panama, and she was born on July 28, 1918, before independence of India, in Kohima village, Kohima. Her father, or Harielungbe Haralu from Poilwa village in Peren district, he was the first Naga medical doctor. Her mother, Rukhrieu of Kohima village, and she died on 2nd September 2016 at the age of 98 in Zion Hospital, Dimapur. Her name, Neichiilieii, means to please all. Yeah, like in the later stage, you'll get to know how she pleased everyone and how she brought great name to the Naga in general. Her father wished of her to become a medical doctor, but she followed her heart. It is very important for all of us to follow our heart, and she became the IFS officer, the first IFS officer among Nagas. And this kind of job requires a spirit of adventure, of diplomacy, of integrity and discipline, of which she fulfilled all of them. As you can see in the next line, the third Naga to venture out in the United States, which means she was adventurous. She did not limit herself to only study in India or to study only in Nagaland. Back there, when she was born in around 1918, to challenge oneself to go abroad, that means she was not an ordinary person. She was a person of determination, and she was a very forward-looking person. Career. These are all the major careers she had. In the next slide, her career as an IFS officer, and anyone who wants to become an IFS officer, we're not talking about forest service here, we're talking about foreign service. So if anyone is interested, you can go through all this and you will get a basic gist of what an IFS officer would do or what the service provides. Now, as a diplomat here, she served in Belgium, Italy, USA and Sri Lanka, and to the Ministry of External Affairs she was the ambassador to Panama. This was her last job as an IFS officer. After this she retired, and even after her retirement she became the chairman for the upliftment of women in Nagaland. And even after retirement, she did not limit herself to staying back at home or to be idle, but she worked for the community of Nagaland, for the community of Northeast in general, and also India. She was a former member of Nagaland Red Cross Society, even Northeast Zone Cultural Center. She was a director, and many more. Her life as a young girl. When she was young, though she was born to one of the first medical doctor among Nagas, or perhaps to be more precise, the first Naga medical doctor, her father was. She lived a very simple life. She was brought up like all typical Naga village girl. When she was young, she used to go out to fetch water from the well. In the morning and also in the evening, they have to fetch water in the well, bring back. That was the life. And she would go to collect firewood in the jungles along with her other siblings. And now, during her younger days, before she attended her school, she used to have a quality time with her grandfather, who was a farmer in Kohima village. And she recalls that she used to put up scarecrows in paddy field, and her grandfather in fact was a rich farmer, had a lot of lands, both paddy field as well as jhum cultivation, where he plants cucumber, pumpkins, etc. Now her father he shifted to Choto Busti, and so even her, along with her family, they went to Choto Busti, where this village, this is in Kohima, and this is where her schooling began. Education. Now, education in primary school, she did it from mission school at Kohima. High school, She went to Wells Mission Girls High School, Shillong. Graduation, she did her BA in Political Science and Economics in Scottish Church College, Kolkata University in 1948. After her graduation, she did not straight away appear for the UPSC exam. No, she was a teacher in Government High School, Kohima for a short time, just for a few months. And after that, during the end of the World War II, no, she lived during the end of World War II, even during the beginning of World War II. Served in the Red Cross Society of Naga Hills of Assam back then in around 1948. Nagaland was still under Assam. So any one of you who knows when Nagaland attained its statehood, it's around 1960. How much? 60 how much? Question mark. Please write it down in the comment section below. After that, she even worked as an auxiliary nurse. Here the term auxiliary nurse comes in, and auxiliary nurse means a person who volunteers to help the professional nurse. They are not nurse, they just help nurse in taking care of the patient. So she did that in Shillong Mission Hospital for 4 months. Later, she went on to get her master's degree in MA Social Science in Haverford College in Pennsylvania, USA in 1953. She studied psychology and IR, international relation, and she also got a diplomacy degree from School of Advanced International School, John Hopkins University, Washington DC. And she did not live the luxurious life. Don't misunderstand her. She did not live a life where she gets what she wants, she eats what she wants, or money was not of a problem. No, she was a very humble person, though she was dependent on her parents, but still she worked hard to get her own tuition fee. She worked in carrot and beans canning mill in USA, and also to earn her ticket to come back home to India. She worked as assistant supervisor in New Jersey. Hobby. Now everyone has an hobby, and it's very interesting about what he did with her hobby. She did not just had a hobby that benefited her. She had a hobby that benefited all of us. You may not know this, but later on, if you go through this, you'll get some idea. Cooking. She was a great cook enthusiast. She even cooked at the age of 90. She was not just some person to stay back and let someone do the work. She was a very hardworking person, and also it was a hobby. Even at the age of 90, she took care of her home. And gardening, she brought this exquisite flower from Sri Lanka and Panama back in those days when she was serving as an IFS officer. She brought them from Sri Lanka and Panama and introduced it to Kohima, where she lives, and also it's found elsewhere. All the flowers that she brought. Now you can see here, this is a very common flower in Nagaland. These flowers, everyone might have seen it. This is called temple flower tree. There are many variants of this flower. She brought this to Nagaland. She introduced it. And the next one, this is also introduced by her, Heliconia, and this is also one of the flower which is very common in Nagaland, especially in Kohima. Lastly, in an interview to the Times of India, she was asked if felt discriminated working as an IFS officer or in her workplace. How did her work staff treat her? And she gave a very interesting reply. Let me break down this reply. It was a very witty reply. It was not just a common man or common woman's reply. She made a very interesting remark here. Not more than would happen to any woman pursuing a career. So she said that she was suffering, as a woman, like all women in all departments. She was also suffering, but she suffered more. Why? Because she was a tribal. So first of all, she acknowledged that every woman have some struggles in every department. So women are discriminated in some way, but she was more discriminated because she was a tribal woman. So for instance, she said here, her seniors would sometimes objectified to her wearing a chiacha, which is Naga lungi. Almost all the girls in rural areas, even in suburb areas, would cherish this, and almost everyone wear it to some functions or to church, some of us. And so she was discriminated for wearing this. So it proves that there is a struggle for women, but as a tribal woman, to feel accepted by the society as an equal person to them, she had to work more, she had to give an extra, or she had to prove herself and give more work than anyone else. That's what she said in her interview. After her retirement, she worked for the welfare of women,